All right, so in this video, we are going over how to create, configure, enable, or disable Bitlocker. Also, of course, recover from Bitlocker. Really quick, what is Bitlocker? If you didn't already know, it is a software that comes with Windows and it does full disk encryption. What this means is that your encryption makes it so any unauthorized users are unable to read any data off of your hard drive. So the biggest triggers to this is when, for example, if your computer gets stolen and someone tries to tear out your hard drive and plug it into their computer, if your BitLocker is enabled, it will get triggered. There are a few other circumstances where BitLocker recovery keys would actually pop. So other than your hard drive being stolen and thrown into another computer, BitLocker would also probably pop for different types of peripherals being plugged into a device. It depends what it is, like a USB trying to pull data off. It could also be if something like a computer repair where you swap your motherboard because there's some type of issue with your computer. You swap your motherboard, you get everything connected, and then when you boot up your computer, it has the BitLocker screen. Now, if that was the case, let's just hope that you stored your BitLocker key somewhere. And if you haven't, if this is a work computer, then your IT department should have stored the BitLocker key somewhere. So that's really a brief just a brief introduction to what BitLocker is, but let's see how we enable it. It is quite easy. One thing to mention is if you have Windows Home, you will need to upgrade to a different Windows version like Windows Pro. Although Windows Home does have a similar device encryption software, it is a lighter version of BitLocker. It's just called device encryption, and you can check that out if you don't have anything like Windows 10 Pro, Enterprise, or Education versions. So let's get started. We're going to go over to the Start menu and type in BitLocker. You should see Manage BitLocker. If you do not, there is a way to get to it through the control panel. So you can see up here, you can go to Control Panel, System and Security, BitLocker Drive Encryption, and all we're going to want to do is turn it on. So this is really important here. It's 3 different methods of saving your recovery key. Now, if you do turn on BitLocker, you will want to save this file somewhere that you will know where it is at all times. Now, your Microsoft account, it means your BitLocker will essentially be saved to an online cloud account where it will be forever. Another way is, of course, to save it to a file or print a recovery key, which is just basically a piece of paper. Now, keep in mind, the piece of paper you can obviously lose. If you save it to a file, you can't save it to a file on your computer. That kind of defeats the purpose. If the BitLocker ever pops, you will not be able to get to your files. Hence, saving to a file on your personal computer will not work. So this is mainly for a USB, which once again, you can lose your USB and then you're just out of luck. And then the one that I would recommend is save to your Microsoft account. So my recommended method once again is save to your Microsoft account. So go ahead and click that. You might get a sign-in prompt, but make sure you go through it all. So here, just gonna go ahead and continue on to next. So the recommended is usually the second option, which is going to encrypt your entire drive and not just whatever space you currently have used. This would be a very niche reason to use. So go ahead and do the entire drive. It's a lot more secure, and typically keep that as default and start encrypting. Depending on the size of your drive, this may take a significant amount of time. It could be hours, it could be minutes. So just give that some time and let it finish. You will notice it will say your BitLocker is encrypting. So another way to check really quick, if we close that out, if you go down here in the bottom right where it says show hidden icons, you'll see an encryption icon for BitLocker. And you'll see that it still says that it's in progress. You can double click it and voila, you can see the progress. All right, now that we are finally done with this encryption, we can hit Manage BitLocker. You will see that BitLocker is now on. It will show this. So as you can see, you can just turn off BitLocker if you no longer wanted the encryption. And if you need to get access to your recovery key, you can go ahead and click back up your recovery key. So we moved our key to Microsoft. So let's double check on how we actually get there. First, just go ahead to Microsoft.com. And of course, sign in. Then click your name here and go to My Microsoft Account. Next, you'll scoot down to where it shows devices. Find the device that you just configured. You can go ahead and hit See Details and Manage Recovery Keys. Now, if all goes well and you followed along correctly and signed into the correct Microsoft account, you will see something just like this, okay? Now, I won't be forcing Bitlocker to pop here, but let's go ahead and check out what it would look like. All right, so you will see something just like this. Okay, you'll have enter the recovery key for this device. You will see recovery key ID with this whole string of text here. And if we head back, you will notice that we have our key ID and our recovery key. We will need to enter in all of these digits. Yes, it's obnoxious and annoying, but that's the whole point of encryption. And hopefully this only pops in rare circumstances. So you go ahead and type in this entire key right into this box here. And that's it. Your computer will unlock the drive and let you sign right in. If for whatever reason you lose the key and you have absolutely no access to it, there is no way around this. The only option is to basically just wipe the hard drive that's in the computer. You will lose all data and you will just, have a brand new computer. But again, you will lose all of your data if you lose your Bitlocker recovery key, which is why I suggest tying into your Microsoft account so you can actually lose it. All right, and that's it for Bitlocker. There's one thing that I'm going to show you. This is a little bit more advanced, but it is the commands that allow you to manage and see a little bit more insight to your Bitlocker drive encryption. So the command, if you open CMD or command prompt, will be manage-BDE-status. And of course, run command prompt as administrator and retype your command. Here you will see all of the drives you decided to enable for Bitlocker. So I have my volume, which is the C drive, the size of the C drive, the version, if it's fully encrypted or not, the percentage it's encrypted. So basically when you first start encrypting your hard drive, you could see a percentage here, and then a couple other pieces of information. And the only other command you can run is to just specify what drive letter by typing in like your C colon. If it's the D drive, you would do D colon and so on and so forth. And it'll just pick out the specific volume that you're referencing and just spit out the same type of information. The biggest use for this is especially inside of like scripts, or if you're managing multiple computers, you can write something to be able to spit out all this information at once without having to go on every single computer and checking on the Bitlocker using the Windows settings. But this is all I got for Bitlocker. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, just go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe, of course. So thanks again for watching, and I'll hope to catch you in the next video.